this is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Social media. I just love social media. No, I don't. I hate social media. It's manipulative, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels warm and fuzzy, like lying in your schmoopy's arms, being showered with warm, golden light. You wonder how you survived before glorious social media entered your life, and the answer is better. Much better. Social media feels great. It sucks up time that you used to waste learning a new skill or reading a book to learn more about a topic or finishing an important project. But social media feels great. It displaces reflection, contemplation, and learning so that your ideas, when you even bother to have them, are lower quality and shallow. But social media feels great. It replaces your genuine connections with momentary exchanges with people who are no longer part of your life because they weren't actually that important to you. But social media feels great. If you've been following the news, you also know that social media has manipulated us in unprecedented numbers to feel and think and behave in ways that we believe are our own, but are actually dictated by the forces of evil, or at least by forces that really don't care about you and me at all. It's time to disconnect. And today, we'll learn how to disconnect from social media, reclaim our time, reclaim our relationships, and reclaim our own decisions. Step 1, acknowledge the problem. Do you get a secret little thrill when you see lots of likes on a post that you posted? And little smiley faces and stuff? Oh, me too. They don't mean anything, however. They don't mean that people like you. They don't mean that you're smart and clever. They're just a number in a computer, and for all you know, the social media site claims you have likes when actually no one clicked the button. It just wanted to keep you hooked. That little thrill means that you are being successfully manipulated. Do you feel all warm and fuzzy and maybe a bit soggy when you see that little icon of the person you were friends with 10 years ago? And you exchange a few sentences here and there on Facebook and you think, wow, we're still so close, we've reconnected. Me too. And it doesn't mean anything. You didn't care enough about them to keep in touch. They didn't care enough about you to keep in touch. Your social media back and forth gives you the illusion of a relationship, but that's all. It's just your memory of them occasionally triggered by Facebook showing you their picture and their name. That warm, fuzzy feeling means you are being successfully manipulated. Do you find that your news feed is full of fascinating, interesting articles that you just have to click on and read? Me too. And that means that your attention is being directed at the topics Facebook and Twitter want you to look at. No matter how interesting those topics are, you aren't the one choosing them. That feeling of worldly education means that you are being successfully manipulated. If you get a lot of good feelings from social media, you're probably one of the ones who's been successfully brainwashed. I know that's true of me. And remember that being successfully manipulated feels like free will. That's why it's successful manipulation. If they weren't doing such a good job of it, it wouldn't feel good. Step 2. Find an antisocial media buddy. Now that you know that your emotions, relationships, and thoughts are no longer your own, you need to find someone else to help you reclaim your soul. So remember that high school friend whose picture on Facebook makes you feel so deeply loved and valued even though you haven't exchanged more than cat pictures since graduation? Call them on the phone and ask them to be your antisocial media buddy. If they say yes, you're on your way, and if they say no, they just prove that they were never worth reconnecting with in the first place. Unfriend them, block them, and move on to the next person whose icon makes you feel deeply, deeply loved and valued. Step 3. Once you have your anti-social media buddy, choose 50 people to keep in touch with. We might be so deeply brainwashed that we actually believe that leaving social media is leaving our friends. I call shenanigans. We have more cheap communications technology than ever in human history. If someone doesn't warrant the effort of a phone call or an email, they aren't important enough to keep you on a soul-sucking, emotion-sucking, brain-sucking social media platform. So look through your social media direct messages, your timelines, and, of course, your friends lists, and choose 50 people that you'd like to keep in touch with. Record their names and contact information separately on a piece of paper or on your desktop computer. If 50 people sounds like too many, then you know that you were brainwashed and are now recovering. Because the illusion that you were keeping in touch with hundreds or thousands was definitely just an illusion, and you recognize that. If you can't keep in touch with 50 people off social media, then you're definitely not keeping any relationships with your 600 friends on social media. If 50 sounds like too few, choose 50 and devote more time to them than you otherwise would have, and you might discover that more time leads to more depth, which leads to more satisfying friendships, so you don't need as many in the first place. Step 4, change passwords. Now it's time for the big step. Swap passwords with your antisocial media buddy and change each other's passwords. If you're feeling super resolved, delete each other's accounts. And breathe a huge sigh of relief because you're on your way to recovery. Step 5, reconnect offline. Remember all those people that you wanted to talk to so badly, but not badly enough to actually contact them? Well, you don't remember who? Good, because you didn't actually want to keep in touch. Social media was just manipulating you into thinking that you did. But you did go through and identify 50 people that you wanted to stay in touch with now. So pick up the phone and call them. All of them. Leave them all voicemail, write them email, start establishing a real connection. And instead of spending half an hour writing 2 paragraphs, spend that same half an hour catching up in much greater depth by phone. These are your friends. You made them yourself. Deepen those relationships now. Step 6, subscribe to actual news sources. Remember all those important, critical articles that crossed your timeline that you read? No? Well, of course not, because even though they were interesting and they made you light up, they were chosen by social media to manipulate you, not because they connected to anything you actually care about in depth. So now's the time to think about what's important to you. Choose a news source. Choose a few, in fact, and please choose carefully. Subscribe to news sources that win Pulitzer Prizes for news and that have rigorous journalistic criteria. And if you really want to be informed, also choose a few from other countries so you get a third-party perspective on the issues. Choose a learning project. Now, go hunt out articles about that topic, a whole bunch of articles. Read them in depth. When you read 100 interesting articles that are all related to a single topic you care about, you end up educated, not just stimulated. And congratulations! Once again, you own your own intellect, you own your own relationships, and you own your own emotions. Step 7, your account is still there for a price, because you can, of course, always return to social media. But set a price for yourself. If you return to social media, you pay your anti-social media buddy $100. If it's not worth $100, then it certainly isn't worth letting it back into your life. Now, I know. The little picture of my Aunt Sadie makes me feel so good. Get over it. If Aunt Sadie isn't worth $100, let her go. She wrote you out of her will years ago. She just didn't tell you. Heroin feels good, and so does social media. And no, of course, they're not the same thing at all. With heroin, you risk your body and your life. With social media, you become someone else's pawn. And you risk your emotions, your relationships, your intellect, and possibly your country and your children's future, all so you can feel a little bit giggly when someone clicks the word like on a screen. So find an anti-social media buddy. Pick your friends, change your passwords, rebuild your important relationships offline, rebuild your news offline, and your mind offline. You're listening to this podcast, so we know you're a smart, amazing, incredible person. So make sure you stay your own smart person so that you can work less, so that you can do more of what you want to do, and so that you can have your own great life, not some social media platform's idea of what your great life should be. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I run accountability programs to help self-employed and small business people make intense progress on projects and routine things that just drop through the cracks or take forever to finish. Find information at steverrobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.